Hey, what is up with you guys? Hope you're doing well. I'm Shubhash Izzat and welcome you to my channel, and today in this video I'll be showing you how you can color grade your videos inside Adobe Premiere Pro. This is the first video that I'm making on video editing, so please watch it until the end. This video is for extreme beginners who are new to video editing and color grading process, so I will try to keep this video as simple as possible. So once you are in Adobe Premiere Pro and you have imported your video, here you can see that there are certain panels are given. Currently I am in editing panel. For color grading, I have to go to the color panel first. And here, as you can see, all those settings or the adjustments are in the right hand side of this video, and in the left side there is certain spectrum, or that is known as lumetri scopes. We will talk about this later on, maybe in some other video. So first things first, as you can see here it is given the basic correction, which have your white balances and the exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites and blacks. So let's start with adjusting them. So first of all, I'm going to bring down the temperature. And as you can see, the changes I will make here, the lumetri scopes, the lines that you are seeing in here, they will also get shifted or adjusted depending on the adjustments that we are making. This is basically a visualization of the changes that we are making in our video. Alright, so let's change the temperature and the tint also. And then I will just adjust the exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, these things. Alright, so let's make it fast. The exposure is good. I'm going to increase the contrast. Or if you just click on here and put your value and then hit enter, you can also change it just like this. It's very similar like Lightroom or Photoshop that we use. So let me change the other adjustments first. So here we have adjusted the basic color correction of our video. So if you just click over here in the FX, you can actually toggle between the before and after. So this is before and this is after. So we are done with the basic color correction, and now we will jump on the main color grading process. Color grading your videos is crucial because it adds a taste, mood and professionalism to your videos. Without proper color grading, your videos will look amateurish, and trust me, nobody wants to look at a video which is amateurish. Alright, so let's start with the main color grading. Come to the creative panel, and in here you can see that here are many presets are provided from Premiere Pro. You can just watch them by clicking one after the other, or also what you can do is you can just click on this side arrows, and then whichever preset you like, you just click on them, and then you can increase or decrease the intensity of the preset. But today I will be showing you how to do it manually, so I'm going to keep it at none. So here I will sharpen this video a little bit and then decrease the vibrance, maybe not much. I think minus 4.3 is good, and then I will increase the saturation just a bit. And in here you have this shadow tint and highlight tint adjustments. You can basically add any color tint you want on the shadows and the highlights. Let me show you how it works. Basically you have this plus sign which you can shift in anywhere you want within this circle. So let me show you how this works. If I bring this down towards blue, you can see that this picture got a little bluish tint, or you can even take it up to yellow. If you do like this, and then highlight tint, you can again take it anywhere in this circular adjustment area, and you can see here we have this weird looking tint. So use it whenever you feel like, but today I'm not going to use it for this video. And then comes curves, and it is just similar to the tone curves that we use in Lightroom or Photoshop. You can adjust it by creating points. I'm going to have a gradual S curve for my video. Maybe work for a bit of contrast. Yes, and in here also. And you also have this RGB. If you have to, then you can adjust whichever colors you want. It basically works the same. Now, following tone curve, you have this adjustments, which is called hue saturation curves. And under this hue saturation curves, you can see that there are few boxes or curves provided. So these are basically hue versus saturation, hue versus hue, hue versus luma, luma versus saturation, and saturation versus saturation. Now what this curve does is you can change one thing with respect to another one. For example, in here, hue versus saturation, what we can do is we can just select any color and then work or play with its saturation level. If you come to this color picker tool and maybe you just clicked over here, you can see that 3 points are created. You can adjust the range from here manually, and when you're happy with it, you can take it upwards or downwards to change or affect the saturation. For example, in here we have selected the blue color. If we take it up, you just see that the blue color is getting more saturated. If I take it down, the blue color in this video is very less saturated. So this is how it works basically. I'm going to keep it at a little bit high, and then it is hue versus hue. Basically, you can change hue of any color you want just by selecting the color first. For example, I'm selecting this blue color, and then I'm going to increase the range just I did before, and then if you just take it up, you will see there's a slight change in the blue. Yeah, you see how this blue colors in this footage is affected, and if you bring this down towards red, you will see it's getting magenta-ish. So this is how you can target each and every color in your video, and you can change them. I'm going to keep it at cyan, and I'm also going to keep this skin tones a little bit reddish. And if you just click on this tick button, you can see the before and after. This was the before. I know that not much change is visible, and this is the after. Not much change visible, I can understand that. One thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this blue tone curve that I adjusted. I don't like it. Alright, now the same thing is hue versus luma. What it does is luma is basically exposure. You can target any color you want and then play with the exposure of that color. It's getting too much exposed, and if you bring it down, it will get more dark. Yeah, that is how it works. I'm going to keep it as it is. And then following that, there is luma versus saturation. There is luma versus saturation, saturation versus saturation, and things like that. And then comes color wheels and match. So here 3 circles are provided. One is shadows, midtones, and highlights. You can do the same thing as we did earlier with creative panel, shadow tint and highlight tint. It works in the same way in the color wheels and match. You basically take this shadows in any way you want within this circle, the midtones and highlights. So let me show you how this will affect my video. I will try to achieve a little bit of contrasted warm look in the midtones and highlights, and cold look in the shadows. Now this blue, it's too much, I know. I take the midtones upwards for warmish midtones. Yes, it's beautiful. And a little bit towards cyan highlights to give it a more, like as if this scene is inside a room under fluorescent light. The concept is that basically. Take this towards warm, yeah. And also what you can do is, you see these sliders, beside these circles, you can take them up and down, which will target the exposure of that area. For example, the shadows, if you take this down, you will see the shadows becomes very dark, very dark. And I'm going to keep it a little bit below the middle. Yeah, and here the midtones, you can bring it down just a tad to see how it affects the midtones. And highlights also, let's take it up just a bit. That's good. Now let me show you the before and after. This is before adjusting the color wheels, and this is after. This is the place where most of the color grading magic happens. After this comes HSL secondary. Basically in here what you can do is you can target any color range you want manually and then work with that. For example, let me show you. You basically select these colors individually or with the help of a color picker tool. I want to target this blue region, so come to this blue region and click on color gray. This will mask out every other color except the blue. And now you just increase the range of hue, saturation and luminance slider to select that area of colors. This is how you do it. Maybe saturation, you want to decrease it. This is how the blue color is selected. You can apply a little bit of denoise and a blur to blur out this harsh edges, and then uncheck it. Come to the bottom, and in here again you can play with the colors a little bit, or maybe the temperature, tint, contrast, saturations. Maybe I want to decrease the saturation, and in here you just see that the saturation is very much towards, very desaturated. So this is how you can affect various colors. There are just multiple options inside Premiere Pro. I'm going to keep it at at the middle. So that was HSL secondary, and finally is vignette. If you're into photography, you already know what I'm talking about. Bring it down, and you will see this kind of effect on the footage. You can adjust the midtones, the roundness and the feather, and then bring it up, and yeah, it actually looks very good, and it is very different from what we started. So let me show you the before and after of our color grading this footage. So this is before and this is after, before and after. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you have enjoyed this video and found this video helpful. Now I know there are tons of videos on color grading and other Premiere Pro tutorials on YouTube by some popular filmmakers and YouTubers, and honestly speaking, I don't even know where this video is going to be. Maybe at the bottom of the last page of the search list. But I am really thinking for starting to upload more videos on my video editing tips and techniques, and other video editing tutorials on this channel. And that's why I did this video, because hey, I gotta start somewhere. So keep supporting. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos and subscribing to my channel. Please keep on subscribing, sharing it with your friends and known ones. Like this video and share it with others, and just keep on inspiring me. That's it. Hope to see you soon. Bye.